Hey everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. Today you can see I've got my KitchenAid out. I know some of you think it's a little noisy, but making this stiff cookie dough, I don't want to do that by hand. So I am going to use my KitchenAid. Apologize for the sound a little bit ahead of time here. I'm going to show you how I do my Pecan Sandies. I do them a little bit different at the end. So it's very simple. All we have is flour. I think there's 2 cups of flour here. A half a cup of white sugar, and this is all-purpose flour. About a cup of finely chopped pecans. We're going to use about a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a stick and a half of butter. So I'm going to get the butter and the sugar going in the mixer. I love using my KitchenAid. I grew up with my grandma Jean. She had a KitchenAid, a white one. I have it somewhere. Anytime I saw that on the cabinet, I knew that I was getting ready to have cookies or some kind of baked goods, because that lady liked to bake, and she always had something on the weekends for us when we went out, because Sunday was the day everybody got together, not just on holidays, but on Sundays too. Most of the family was there. And even during the week, she always had some kind of dessert, cookies, cake, pies, cobblers, something for after dinner. So I got the a stick and a half of butter in here. I'm going to put in the half of cup of sugar. I'm just going to let that cream together here until it's nice and creamed and all the sugar is incorporated into the butter and it's nice and fluffy. Now, if you notice, I'm not putting any baking soda or baking powder in here because we don't want these cookies to rise up. They're a Pecan Sandie. They're a denser cookie. So we're just using all-purpose flour. Okay, that's pretty good cream. I do want to wipe down the sides and make sure I get all that butter and sugar incorporated together. And as you scrape it down, you can hear little crystals of sugar. That just means it's not incorporated enough yet. Little crunchies of the sugar. And this is a great recipe. I make these cookies around Thanksgiving and Christmas a lot, but they're good anytime. Every time I see them, the little yellow Keebler, I think it's Keebler, Pecan Sandies on the shelf at the store, I always want to grab them. Then I realize how easy it is just to make it myself. Now this dough, once it comes together, we're going to let it sit in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes to firm back up, because this soft butter is room temperature butter, so we want it to come back together and stiffen a little bit. All right, so now that's all mixed together pretty well. We're just going to put everything else in. The flour, the cinnamon, the salt, and the pecans. And about a tablespoon of ice cold water. I'm just going to use it from the fridge because that's ice cold. We're just going to put this on low. Just let that come together. And then I'm going to take it out, put it in the refrigerator, let it cool down for about 30 minutes, and that's all it'll take, and we'll be back to put it in the oven. Now this will be a little crumbly. So when you're forming the balls, it might fall apart a little bit, so you gotta be careful putting it together, get it all nice and compact. And as you can see, it's coming together into a nice little, it's kind of like Play-Doh consistency. All right, and I'm not gonna overwork it. I just wanted to get it enough to bring it together. Drop any of that. There we go. And you see it's not sticking real bad to anything. It comes out real easy. Show you there. It's nice and come together. All right. So actually, you know what? This looks like it's going to fit pretty well in this bowl that I had the flour in. So I put that in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes and we'll be back. It's gonna be like a second for you. See you then. Welcome back, everybody. I told you it'd only be a second for y'all. It's been about 30 minutes. Now, right after I turned off the cameras, I realized I didn't put vanilla in my Pecan Sandies dough. So I added a teaspoon and a half of vanilla, mixed it, and then put it back in the refrigerator. So I told you earlier I do something a little bit different with my Pecan Sandies. Now I'm using an 1.5 inch scoop, and I would like to use a scoop instead of just, taking out pieces with a teaspoon or tablespoon. That way they're all the exact same size, they cook at the same time, and they're not some done, some not done. After that, like I told you earlier, I'm just going to do something different. I like to roll them in sugar like I do my snickerdoodle cookies. Gives them a little bit more sugar on the outside, a little crunch, a little sweetness on the outside, because these aren't real sweet and they're kind of dry. So I just like that a little bit. Like I said, you're gonna see that the dough is kind of dry, so it might crumble a little bit. But we're just gonna scoop these out and do about 2 inches apart. And we're gonna cook them for about 20 minutes. I've already got the oven heated. These cook at 325. So we're not gonna do 350 like we do most baking, but these are gonna cook at 325. Let me get a couple of these at the same time. There we go. My hands are clean. But don't worry, y'all aren't gonna be eating these. Just gonna be me. And maybe somebody at work. There we go. So we're just gonna dip each one of these. Cookies are one of the easiest, quickest snacks, sweets, desserts you can make. Kids can grab them after school. You can grab them just before bedtime with some milk, nice little bedtime treat. And they're really easy to put together. You can make this dough just like any other cookie dough. Make it at this point. You can dip them all out. I wouldn't roll these in sugar yet, but put them on a tray like this, put them in the freezer and freeze them solid, then put them in a Ziploc bag, and then you can just pop them out anytime, make as many as you want. Instead of heating up your oven, you could use your toaster oven, and you wouldn't have to make an entire batch. Someone pops in, guests or family just surprise pop them in the oven. You got a quick treat for them. I think you cook all the time and always have stuff prepared. All right, so let's get these last ones in here. And you could definitely substitute, if you don't like pecans, you can put in walnuts, any kind of nut you'd like. You could even do these with peanuts if you want. Just make sure you get them nice and crushed small so you don't have big chunks in there. I need one more, two more. Nope, just one more. I have not had enough coffee yet today. All right, so there they are. Now I'm going to get my mango glass. Y'all think I just use this for peeling mangoes? Actually, I use it for this too. And I'm going to smash these down to about a 1/2 inch. And I like to just put a little sugar on the bottom so they don't stick. I'd say they don't stick and the first one sticks. A good way to keep them from sticking is when you push down, turn, and it comes right off. Now you could use a 2-inch scoop instead of an 1.5 inch, make bigger cookies, but I think this is just the perfect size for snacking. Here we go, last one. All right, I'm gonna put these in the oven. I like to do one tray at a time so I don't have to change them around in my oven. Everyone's oven cooks differently. These should cook about 20 minutes. You might want to check them about 15 minutes in your oven since everyone's oven does cook a little differently. So I'll see you when I'm getting these out. Talk to you again in a minute. Okay, y'all, we are back. And this seems to have made about, this recipe, a little bit more than 2.5 dozen. You might notice there's 2 of them missing here. There's a perfectly good reason. When I took the last tray out and I was talking to you and telling you all about it and eating a cookie to taste test for you, of course, quality assurance, remembered that I didn't even turn on the cameras. As Grandpa Cecil would say, my sometimes kicked in. Sometimes I remember, sometimes I don't. So these just came out These are cooled. As you'll see, they do crumble just a bit when you take them apart. They're nice and buttery, nutty, nice little shortbread cookie. Not real sweet, has a little bit of sugar on the outside. When you first bite into it, give these a try. They are amazing. They're so simple to make. They only have a few ingredients and 20 minutes in the oven and they're done. Like I said, you can make the dough ahead of time, put it in the freezer, and then just take it out, smash it, bake it. There you go, you got instant cookies. You can also do a couple other things. My grandma Jean used to take and just push one pecan half down in the top of each one when she smashed it. I've seen where they put powdered sugar on the outside. I've even dipped one half of mine in chocolate and then had a pecan sandy, half chocolate, half just plain pecan sandy. Give it a try, mix it up a little bit, do whatever your family likes. Everyone's gonna like them a little bit differently. But these are a nice, not real sweet cookie, just something, a little glass of milk before bed. A couple of these cookies gonna put you right to sleep. Thank you again for joining my kitchen. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell. That way you'll be notified when I put up new videos. And please hit the like button up at the top. It helps me out a lot so YouTube will share my videos with other people and get all of our recipes out. I'll talk to you again soon. Take care and God bless. Bye-bye.